DMR, digital mobile radio, can be a lot of fun, but it can also be very expensive. These three radios are actually quite affordable. In fact, this Baofeng 1801, which is quite a good radio, you can get that for under $40 now if you shop around. I have two more cheapo radios coming in, so I'm not going to compare radios just yet. I'm going to talk about something even more important than these three radios or five radios when they come in. In very simple terms, DMR is not when one radio talks to another radio directly. The radio talks to some sort of access point, and then it goes over the internet and then connects to another radio on the internet at the other end. And so you can have global connections. You can talk to people all over the world because the internet is connected all over the world. Unfortunately, if you're not close to a DMR repeater, you're going to have trouble getting on the air. And technically it's not on the air, it's over the internet, but it's basically the same thing. So what do? You buy a hotspot. Now, let me show you a couple of hotspots available right now. Obviously, hotspots are way more expensive than the radios themselves, and that poses a problem, but I have a solution. This is the Raspberry Pi Zero 2W. I don't know what the W stands for, maybe it takes 2 watts or something. Anyway, this is relatively cheap. It's like $26 in most places. I put a little piece of plastic on the bottom. You don't have to do that. But the one thing I recommend you do if you buy one of these is put heat sinks on them, because they can get really toasty. Now, that's $26. What about access to your radio and the internet? That's where this comes in. These are MMDVM hats for the Pi, and you can put them on a more expensive Raspberry Pi, or you can put them on the Pi Zero and they work just fine. I got this one for $15 and this one for $16. You have to scout around on the internet to get good deals on these, but I'll put a link in the description as to where I bought mine, and the prices vary a lot. I mean, they can go up to 20 and down to 15. You really have to just be patient and shop around. But you pair this with the Raspberry Pi Zero, and what you have is a working hotspot, and it basically costs you almost as little as the $40 radio that you just bought. Now, you don't need the display. The display is pretty much useless. It's kind of fancy, but it doesn't really get you anywhere, because what you're going to have to do is connect to this thing over the internet or in your browser via Wi-Fi. You see it's booting up now. And when it's finished booting, I'll show you what it looks like on the browser. I use WPSD. That microSD card has WPSD on it. You can use Pi-Star as well. I just find WPSD to be a little easier to configure and run. Again, I'll put a link in the description. Now, the one good thing about the display is that it shows you what the IP address is when it connects to Wi-Fi. However, you can also look that up on your router. You can just look into your router and see where the Raspberry Pi is connected, and you'll find the IP address there. If you can do that, then you don't even need the display. You can buy a cheaper one without a display. Now, this is a duplex hat, which means the transmit and receive frequencies are different. You can also buy one of these. This is a Simplex hat, which is probably as cheaper than these. And basically you transmit and receive on one frequency. It really makes no difference in how you operate DMR. These were just so inexpensive that I sprung for these two. I bought two because I was suspicious that they wouldn't work since they were so inexpensive, but both of them work just great. Okay, here's what the WPSD dashboard looks like. This is connected to the dual hat that I showed you. You can see that it has a transmit frequency and a receive frequency, and they're different. That's because the radio mode is in duplex. If I put that Simplex hat on there, these would have to be the same frequency, and this would say Simplex. Now, the thing about DMR is the way you connect to a talk group is you transmit for like a second. Here, I'll do that with my 1801 radio. Okay, you can see that, I'm getting superseded by the other, but you can see that it registered my 1 second transmit. And so now if there was any activity on here, I could hear, here you go.
Well, so it's great.
That's a little activity on Brandmeister 91. Now, if you're interested in getting all this set up, I'd be glad to do a tutorial on how to get WPSD set up, how to do a code plug for your radio. I'm going to wait till I get the two cheap radios in, because there's no point in doing it without testing those and seeing which one I would recommend. But that's basically all I have for you today. Take advantage of the deals right now. To get a dual hat, you can get on DMR for a very low price, and it's really worthwhile, especially if you're in an apartment or somewhere where you don't have the opportunity to put up an antenna for VHF or UHF, and you want to be able to talk to the world. This is one way to do it. 73s, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.